Whether you're joining us on Facebook Live or on live stream, we appreciate you guys tuning in. And we have we have a great show planned for you today. We're still celebrating Lent, so we know that on Fridays some of you don't eat meat, so we want to give you some delicious options other than pizza or something like that. So we have some great recipes for you, and I have my beautiful help. Making artichoke what? She doesn't know. We're going to be making artichoke Frenches, and we're going to be making artichoke grilled cheese sandwich, which is a really like a yummy spin on. Did you guys ever have the artichoke dip at Fridays? No. With the tortilla chips, they serve it. It's like really super delicious. It's artichokes and mayonnaise and garlic and lemon juice, and it's just super, super yummy. We're going to put that on a grilled cheese sandwich. What do you think? You don't know? You don't know if you're going to like it? Jeremiah, you like artichokes? You love artichokes. He doesn't really like them at all, and Sophia loves them, right, baby? So first we're going to get started on our loaf of bread. And for this, I'm actually going to kind of just show you what we have that we've gotten ready, because I really have to do everything back here. Unfortunately, I can't really show you too much. But what we have in this, Jeremiah, would you go show them this bowl of foam? We have our chia seeds soaking in water. We have a 1/3 cup of chia seeds and about 3/4 of a cup of water. And then Jeremiah has a foam bath there. Can you guys see the foam bath? That is yeast, maple syrup. It is olive oil, and what else? And water. Okay, so an apple cider vinegar. All right, so that's all in there, and we'll post the recipe for you so you can follow explicit instructions. Now, Sophia's going to dump the chia seeds in here, and they make a real nice gel. So this is going to be egg-free, dairy-free, soy-free, nut-free, really nice bread. Wow. And then we're going to add about 4 cups of flour. And, you know, this is a lot of liquid, but it's going to get absorbed. And you want to have a nice, moist bread, so you want to have some liquid in there. And what we're doing is we're just going, where'd my paddle go? Where's my paddle? I can't find my paddle for my attachment. Oh, thank you, honey. Alright, so I've got my paddle, and Jeremiah's going to grab the flour for me, or Sophia, whichever one over there is going to play. And then what we have here is a piece of parchment paper on our, what do you call this? Serrated pan? I don't even know what to call it. Sophia, stop. And I'm just going to add some flour, and I'm going to mix it until it kind of like makes a smacking noise. Now, you guys don't want to really hear that, so I'm going to try to go quickly, and then we're going to get right started on our artichokes. So I'm just going to put this, I'm just going to like eyeball it, basically. And then I probably won't need any more water for that, so that will be enough. I might need a little bit more flour. About 4 to 5 cups of flour. You could do up to 6 or 7 with this recipe. I really only like doing half cup at a time, so I don't know. What happened? What happened? I have my water sitting out because you want room temperature water, so I've got it sitting out 2 cups. What are you doing?
He's doing it.
And I'm just going to put a little bit of water in there, just a little bit. Because I want to get that noise going really hard. I want to get that dough really getting smacked around, literally. What are you doing to your sister? You're supposed to be making bread. So we've got a nice noise, and it's been going around for maybe like 2 minutes. Hi guys, thanks for joining us. We're making some delicious grilled cheese sandwiches, some bread, some artichoke items for Lent, and gluten-free grandma's here, so we really have to get busy. No time for chit-chatting. And we hope you guys BYON, right, Sophia?
Bring your napkin.
Because I think this one you're going to be definitely drooling over. So here's our sticky dough. See that? Now, normally, you know, in a gluten dough, you take it and you try the window pane test, but look at what happens.
Let me try.
You can't do it. You can't do it. So this week we were at the U.S. Food Show, and I talked with the bread guy in great length.
That's good.
And I found out a lot of interesting facts about bread, which I've been studying a lot on. So we'll see what happens. Maybe I could put that knowledge to use for the gluten-free world benefit. No, that's not happening. Alright, so before we shape our dough, we want to wet our hands. So I just kind of dip my hand in that water I have here. Ready? Stop. Stop. And I'm going to shape it into maybe 2 dough balls, about. And it's really very sticky dough. We're not giving it a rise or anything. We're just going to let it go. I'm going to dip my hands again in the water. And I'm just going to take that dough and lift it up. You want your dough balls to be about the same size, otherwise you're going to have to take one out while it's baking. And then you'll have to leave the other one in. So if it starts to get a little sticky, just kind of wet it again. Wet your hands, and then we're going to put it right onto the parchment.
That one's too big.
Well, I'm going to flatten it out a little bit, so. And then I'm going to have Sophia score it with the cross. And what we're going to do is we're going to put this in the oven at 390 for about 45 minutes, and then we're going to switch it over to 350 for about 20 minutes. So it does take about an hour. Hold on 1 second. So I just want to make it like a size that, excuse me 1 second. What is this? I just want to make it like a nice shape because it's going to explode in the oven, and you'll see once you start baking bread how beautiful it can be. So Sophia's going to score it. She's just going to do a deep cross in the top of the dough. No. A deep cross. So it's straight up and in. Straight up and in. Like that. You do the next one. You have to score your bread so the air can escape so it doesn't kind of like explode. Or what will happen was the inside will be really super gummy because it's not cooked. The air could not escape, so it just stayed in there and kind of made everything all wet. When the air escapes, the steam escapes, and that's where the water gets evaporated and it gets let loose. So now she's going to spray it. All we have in here is, I call it our pizza water. It's water with baking soda, and that gives it a nice crunchy crust on the outside. So go ahead and spray, not too much. Spray around and then put it away. And then I'm going to let Jeremiah get this in the oven. Now is the time if you wanted sesame seeds, poppy seeds, anything like that. Anything other than garlic or salt you can do now. If you do garlic or salt now, it might change the texture and the baking time of the bread, and then the top things might get burned, and then they're not any good. That's fine, honey. Thank you. That's good. And so if just poppy seeds, sesame seeds, chia seeds, flax seeds, you can do those kind of things now. Jeremiah, put that in the oven and put it on 40 minutes, I'm sorry. Now we have bread baked, of course, because we couldn't make you guys wait that long. We don't want to do that. What?
Sophia's getting it.
No, we don't need it yet, honey, not yet. But what we're going to get started on is we're going to get started on our artichoke. We're making like an artichoke dip, and we're going to turn that into a grilled cheese sandwich. And that sandwich is going to be your Lent dinner or lunch or whatever it is that you decide. Now, obviously, if you're not eating meat, you're not going to be adding any bacon or ham or prosciutto or anything like that. You're just going to go straight up with the artichokes. Let me just wash my hands real quick. Sophia, show them the 2 different artichokes, please. That's it, you have it on the side. Okay, so we have a whole artichoke hearts. That's the heart that came in a can. And then we have artichoke hearts in quarters, which came frozen in the Botticelli bag. Now, this is about $5 for the bag, and there's, 10 ounces in there. And then you have the can of artichoke, which is about the same, but you get about, how many are in there? 4 or 5? 4 or 5 whole ones?
8.
All right, 8 whole ones. So what we're going to do is we're going to start making our 2 different ingredients. Jeremiah, I need, thank you, Sophia. Sophia's going to get our cutting board, which you really don't need the cutting board yet. This is for the bread, so don't use that. What we're going to do, Jeremiah, I need the 3 bowls. We're going to do a triple dip today, and you guys know triple dip is the flour, something wet, and then some breadcrumbs. For our artichoke franchise, we're going to do that. I need the 3 bowls up here, like the yellow rim bowls. I don't know. Today's like, I feel like we're going backwards. Can you just wait until Mommy is and do something? Are we going backwards today? That's okay, I just washed it. what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna have Sophia start to make the. We're gonna wait on that. Whoa, that sounded like. Alright, we're gonna make the dip first. Listen to mommy. We're making the artichoke dip first. So get all that stuff right there. Be careful because just put it right here, honey. Just put it right here. Thank you. He had it. He was fine. We're going to put all of the ingredients into our bowl, and I'm not really sure which one I should use. We'll figure out. What do you think? For the dip, should I use these or the ones from the jar?
Use the frozen one.
Use the frozen one? So Jeremiah, can you just put a little bit of hot water on these, please? Sophia, leave it the way that it was so you can actually, everybody can see what you're doing. But nobody can see what you're doing, so put it up there. Move over a little bit. Alright, so in our bowl, why are you fighting me today? You are, you're fighting me. In our bowl, we're going to grate some Kerrygold cheese. We've got a beautiful hunk of Kerrygold. And if Sophia will get, actually Jeremiah, can you get the grater when you're done? We won't use that, it's too small. We have, this is for later. We have some mayo, just mayo is what we're using. We're using a little bit of onion so Sophia can get chopping on that. She's hiding. Who's going to chop the onions for today?
If you feed me, I'll do it.
Gluten-free grandma's right here, and she said if we feed her, she'll do it. So that's a deal. We got that deal, gluten-free grandma. Here, give this to gluten-free grandma with a cutting board and a knife. We have our lemons. We have our mayo. We have our cheese. We have a little bit of mustard. No, I need the big box grater, honey, the one you got, mommy. And I need some garlic. So we're going to make this dip-like inside for our grilled cheese sandwiches. Once we're done with that dip-like thing, we're kind of going to let it sit so it don't like melt together. Diced, and just half. Alright, so Jeremiah, would you grate some cheese in here? No, you're not grating cheese. Learn how to cut yourself. Jeremiah, you grate the cheese in here. And you can move this out. And then I'm going to let Jeremiah grate the cheese. I'm going to let Sophia do the lemon. Gluten-free grandma's doing the onion.
Not an orange.
Alright, so actually this is a good time to talk about this. This is a Meyer lemon. It's a hybrid from China. And it was actually brought into the U.S. back in the 70s. What did you say? And it's a hybrid, so it's from China, and it's a blend between a lemon and a citrus. It's kind of like a pomelo, if you've ever heard of those before, or grapefruit. And a man named Mr. Meyer, who worked for the Department of Agriculture for the United States, brought this into America and decided to, basically produce it and sell it. And then it became very big when Martha Stewart started using it on all of her cooking shows. She said Meyer lemon, Meyer lemon, Meyer lemon, and then it became a very big hot item, and now you can get it in any grocery store that you find because Meyer lemons are everywhere now. So what Sophie's going to do is she's just going to squeeze half of a lemon into the cheese mixture. You don't need this. This is for later. That's for the French fries. And then we have our Just Mayo, which we got a few messages. If you guys are disappointed you're not finding Just Mayo anymore, the demand has increased so much that they are having trouble keeping up with the demand. So they're hoping to get it back on the shelves very, very, very soon. So I keep going. I went to 6 Walmarts and ShopRites and I couldn't find it. So if you find it, you send it to me, and then I will pay you, and then I will say thank you very much. And we have a little bit of mustard. All right, stop eating the cheese, please. Let me see what you have there. We need more. Stop eating the lemon. Why are you doing that? You're like torturing yourself. No, we need it for this. You're gonna suck on a lemon? On a Meyer lemon? Where's the lemon squeezer, Sophie? You can get the lemon squeezer and squeeze that. Here, squeeze it into here. So we've just got a few ingredients. We're going to do about a half a cup of mayo.
No, there's
like
no face reaction.
1 teaspoon of...
Wait.
What do you mean?
I gave him a whole bunch of lemon and there's no face reaction.
He likes lemons, though.
You know, there's no... No.
Jemima, can you move this out of the way? Yeah, that's good. Thank you. Can you move this out of the way? Thank you. Alright, so we've got about a cup of grated cheese. Now, depending, obviously, upon how many sandwiches you're going to be making, I'm obviously going to have to do a whole another run of this when you guys are not around. But for now, we've got a cup of cheese. Squeeze a lemon in here, please. Go get the lemon squeezer. It's right there. And I'm going to do about a teaspoon of mustard.
Don't put the mustard in my hands.
That's why you're supposed to get the lemon squeezer
I know,
and use
I
it. Go get it, it's right there. A little bit of mustard. Jeremiah, I'm going to need the salt and pepper. And I'm going to do about 3 tablespoons of the mayo. Now, if you can have any kind of mayo, go ahead and have any kind of mayo. We can't, so we're going to have this one. But whatever mayo is what you like.
Oh,
1, 2, 3. Alright, move that out. We don't want it. Move it out. Alright, so now I've got the onion, and I'm just going to chop up the artichokes. Sophie, you want to chop up the artichoke, or you want Mommy to do it?
Well, I'll do it.
Thank you, gluten-free Grandma, for the onion she diced for us, so we don't have to cry. You guys do not want to see us crying. You ever hear, like, there's the ugly criers and the nice criers? Oh, wait, yeah, we're using the frozen. You're right, baby. Alright, so the frozen ones, they're a little, I don't know. They're not my favorite. I'll just say that. Alright, so we're going to do about a cup of the artichokes. I like a lot of artichokes. I actually love artichokes. So if you're an artichoke lover, then add some more. If you don't like them as much, obviously you can omit it. But this is like the artichoke dip at Friday. So you want that same effect, just in a grilled cheese sandwich. Alright, so we've got our onions. Jeremiah, you need salt and pepper. You go put them right in here. You need salt and pepper, please? Would you stop walking around with cheese in your hand? You're stealing all the cheese. I'm going to tell Rose that you're stealing the cheese. The mouse that stole the cheese. I have no pepper. Oh, man. Alright, I have like no pepper left yet. Can I have the other one, gluten-free Grandma? The one that comes out really fast? The round one? Alright, so I'm going to put just a little bit of pink Himalayan sea salt in there. Now, this is when you can add a little spice if you wanted to, too. You could do some cayenne pepper. Thank you, honey. We're just going to do black pepper and salt. And I really love this combination because, like, when we used to go to Fridays, obviously before we were gluten-free, now that you're gluten-free, you don't go to Fridays anymore. We used to go to Fridays and get that artichoke dip, bubbling deliciousness with the chips. And it would be like, oh, there's never enough. And that was the same thing as this, with the mayonnaise, the lemon, the onions, the artichokes. And if you have fond memories of that like I do, you're going to love this sandwich. Now, at the expo, if you guys followed us on Instagram or saw any of our tweets or anything, we really weren't able to eat anything there. If there was like a beautiful lobster or a piece of steak, they always put it on top of a piece of bread or a cracker or something like that. So everything was off limits. Thankfully, we knew that. We didn't expect to eat there. We were very prepared and we packed. But we found some really interesting things. We talked to a lot of companies who are trying to get into the gluten-free industry. But we also talked to a lot of people who have no clue. And they said, oh yeah, we make our gluten-free quesadillas in the same oven and the same pan on the same griddle. And you know, that just like makes me cringe. But I understand that if you're not communicating with the person that's cooking for you, then you really shouldn't be eating there. And then obviously it's going to be your fault if you get sick. So, well, these were hard. So I'm just going to help Sophia along because I feel like we're taking a little bit too much time. But we do have that beautiful bread in the oven. That's going to be like a crusty Italian round, like a round batard. Not a baguette, but like a round batard. All we're doing is chopping up these artichokes. And if you have a food processor, it's 1, 2, 3, and it's finished. And then, you want me to help you still? Yeah? I'll take some of those. So if you chop it all up in the food processor, it's going to be very quick and you'll be done easy. And you can make this dip up ahead of time. And then you can just add it to your grilled cheese sandwich right before you grill it. And you can have it ready because this will last. Or you can just put this in a pan or like a Pyrex and bake it in the oven and just serve it with bread around it or even serve it with those tortilla chips. You're just making the gluten-free version. Now, if you can't have dairy, I suggest that you use the Daya block. They have the new block cheeses and the shredded, and I would mix those two together. Because the difference between the block and the shredded is kind of a big deal. The shredded ones have like a coating on them where it almost stops them from melting really nice. So if you use the block and the shreds together, the block will melt and then you'll still have kind of like individual pieces of cheese where you can kind of pull it up. That's what you want. So you can mix those two together. Alright, so we have our technically, we're going to call this our dip, our artichoke dip. And now we're going to put this aside. Jeremiah, you can put this aside for us. And we're going to get started on our artichoke franchise. So get this, Sophia, you can put all this away. Now we're going to start our triple dip, because the triple dip is what we're going to do for the artichokes. We're going to use our West Bend. I'm sorry, my eye is itching for a reason. And we're going to do a triple dip on that. Now, Sophia's like the best triple dipper ever. So, Sophia, we need to cut the artichokes still, honey. Sophia's the best triple dipper like ever, so I'm going to really let her do the triple dipper.
You
Just
cut
clean this
it.
off. Did you guys do the garlic yet?
No.
Oh, we need garlic in the, don't forget to put your garlic in your artichoke dip. Can you do that for me, please? 1 clove of garlic squeezed into the dip. Stop eating cheese. He's sitting over there eating cheese the whole time.
That's because he has the cheese in the knife.
What'd you say?
He has the cheese, the block of cheese in the back.
In his back pocket? Oh, in the back. You stop eating that cheese. He's going to Ireland in about a week. You can have as much cheese as you want. Leave our cheese alone. Right, Sophia?
Right. I like my cheese.
Alright, we're going to do the triple dip. Sophia, grab the milk. I'm going to get the flour, and then we have our breadcrumbs. Very simple, simple, simple. So today we're using Josie's Coat of Oats. Almond milk is fine. Today we're using Josie's Coat of Oats. We're going to do about half a cup. 3/4 of a cup, I'm going to say. Alright? And we're using a really great food company all-purpose flour. We got about half a cup of that.
And
Put that away.
almond milk.
Don't put too much in there. It's okay. So this is a triple dip bowl. We're ready to go. Flour, something wet. You can do egg. You can do aquafaba. You can do mayo. You can do any kind of milk that you can have. You can do sour cream. You can do yogurt. Don't stop there. You know, if you're going gluten-free, you want to make sure that.
Put them in here when they're done.
Okay. You want to make sure that you're reading all the labels. You cannot leave it up to the company or the person serving you. You always want to make sure that you read the labels. The other thing is, if you've just gone gluten-free, don't worry. You're still going to eat yummy, delicious food. You just may not have the spontaneity anymore.
Put them in there.
No. You may not have the opportunity to just, stop any place. Even though nowadays you can go to Wawa, get a piece of fruit. That's always gluten-free. Well, I shouldn't say that, really. I guess people could... some strawberries and mushrooms and stuff, right? I'm not going to get into that with you today. But anyway, most of the time you can get fruit and things like that that are gluten-free. You could just get cold cuts, cut up and not on the bread. All right, and now the exciting thing is, Manhattan Bagel has Bagelinos. Wawa has Sweet Megan's edible cookie dough.
Which is delicious.
Who doesn't want to go to Wawa and get a thing of cookie dough? And I noticed that now Sabra has a guacamole with chip dip, which is in Wawa and Quick Check. So if you're ever in one of those, you can always grab that. Not that you want to eat junk food, but there's always a bag of potato chips to grab, right? All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually get some... Jeremiah, can I have I'll use oil. I'm going to use a little bit of oil in the franchise and a little bit of butter. Can you get me the Kerrygold, please, Jeremiah?
Yeah.
And then I'm also going to be using capers, which I love capers. If you guys don't like capers, they're just seed flowers, but they're really super yummy. It's almost like, I didn't say cheese, did I? I said Kerrygold. I did say Kerrygold. Go get that, please. Can I have the butter? I'll get the butter. You take care of that. Okay, so I apologize for the interruption if you guys got interrupted. Usually we have Do Not Disturb on. We just changed our time today a little bit, so hopefully it's okay. Alright, so we have olive oil in here, and we're going to use a little bit of butter. And we're going to kind of work a little quickly because we don't want to waste time. We want to get this in and out, and then we're going to need this. We're going to need our West Bend for another item, so we're going to use it 2 times today. Now, if you don't have an electric cooker, you're just going to do this on the stove, and that's the way I would do it if I wasn't showing you guys all how to do it. Alright, so Sophia did the triple dip on all of these, and as soon as this is melted, now if you can't use regular butter, we're using Kerrygold because we love it. If you can't, you can use your Earthbounds, or you could just use straight up olive oil.
Mama, this one and that one has breadcrumbs in between those.
In between the leaves? That's good, honey. Alright, so I've got this on low. I've got on about 300, and I'm just going to drop these right in here. I actually have some of these in the freezer that are ready to go, and they can be deep fried. You want to just press it together once you get that flour on there. You want to get it pressed together. Now, Josie's Coat of Oats is a healthier version of a breadcrumb, and it's actually made with oats, so it's got a lot of good properties in it, a lot of fiber and things like that. It also is seasoned Italian style. So if you're looking for like an Italian breadcrumb and you're not really sure what kind, Josie's Coat of Oats, and it actually is, it's gluten-free, obviously, and it's made in a dedicated gluten-free facility, which sometimes we know now that things are not. Jeremiah, can I have a little tongs, please? Okay. Tongs, and then actually, after Sophia's done with this, she's doing such a good job. We're only going to do a few, I guess, Sophia, right? Or you want to do them all until you run out of, thank you, honey. I guess we'll do them until we run out of the ingredients on there. I'm just going to turn them over, and once they get a little brownish on one side, flip it over and brown on the other side, then I'm going to add some of these delicious capers and make a little bit of like a nice sauce to go over them. These actually are really good by themselves, or you can toss them with some pasta with a little lemon and butter and a little bit more capers and some olive oil and some seasonings, and that would be a really, really delicious Lent dinner for you. You always want to make sure that you're adding all of the flavors together, and you want to have that into one pan. So you can even do a little hot seeds. So you want the salty, the sweet, the spicy, and what was the other? I missed one. The savory, I don't know. The
Bitter.
Bitter. Yeah, because then we'll have the lemon juice. That's right. Good reminder. So we're actually add the lemon juice right to here with the butter and the olive oil. And you have like those little brown bits in there that really just, we love the brown bits, don't we? Little brown bits. So the kids did not come with me to the food show this year. I went with Chef John, but it was exciting to see all of the new things coming out. I was really surprised they didn't have more gluten-free stuff, or they didn't have more like allergen-free stuff. Nobody had anything allergen-free. Everything had soy in it, everything had corn in it, everything had wheat in it. And if they did have a gluten-free product, they didn't have it there with them. They didn't bring it, which was shocking to me. Especially because the restaurants nowadays are looking for ways to get into the allergen-free community, because you decide where people go eat. If there's 10 of you and you want to go out to eat, they say, all right, well, where can you eat? That's where we'll go. So it's a shame. The only thing I did see that was exciting was I saw some purple stuff. Purple gloves, purple knife, purple spatula, but nobody to really elaborate on what that means. So that's the allergen-free alert for any restaurants. They have everything in purple so that they would know. And I think the best thing is, if you're doing anything with allergen-free, you have to put those purple gloves on so everybody around you knows, don't touch this because I'm working on it because this is an allergen-free item. But not everybody uses that, which is a shame.
I'm running out of breadcrumbs.
All right, honey, we have more. A little bit. You don't need that much. What are you doing that for? Don't do that. So normally, like if you had leftovers, I remember you used to sometimes just cook the breadcrumbs in the oil when you had leftovers. We never have leftovers. Right? Gluten-free grandma? We never have leftovers. Now, if I was really, really wanting to make this a meal, I would make Jeremiah go cook pasta right now, especially because he's sitting there doing nothing. But I'm not going to do that. He's just smirking. I wish you could turn the camera right to him. He's just smirking. So we've got our artichokes cooking. Jeremiah, could you just bring me the dish to put the artichokes in, please? The blue lined one? The blue, yeah. So, hey, you're touching me with your dirty hands.
Usually touch me.
So, okay, stop putting them in now. I think that's enough for now. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take the artichokes out. And then I'm going to make that nice little sauce that I was telling you about. See, Sophia made these nice. I like how she flattened them. It's actually a good idea. It just kind of makes it almost look like a steak. So if you're vegan, obviously this is a great dish for you. take away the butter, use your earth balance. If you're vegetarian, you can just leave that butter there unless you don't do butter. And obviously, since we didn't use any eggs, you're good to go. And then the capers are obviously something that everybody can have unless you're allergic to flower seeds, which I do feel sorry for you with that one, but everybody's something, right? Everybody's got something. Alright, so I'm just going to keep this here. Those are our nice artichokes. Put all of this in here. I know, it's fine. Put all of that in there and just get rid of it for now, or put it on the table. Alright, so we've got, Sophia's telling me I gotta put this one back in because she doesn't like it. No, I'm making sauce for it. So it'll be alright. I'll put those to the side, okay? So I'm gonna use those brown bits in there, I don't know if you can see that, to make a sauce. I'm gonna just use some olive oil. Gosh, we have no olive oil left, gluten-free grandma. That's a bad thing. I'm going to use the butter. And I'm going to just cut a hunk off. And then I'm going to add the capers. What happened? What happened? I'm going to use about 2 tablespoons of capers. And they're very vinegary. Oh, they're so good. Sophie, can I have the grater, please?
Do you want this cutting board too?
Yes, use the cutting board. And I want the grater, please, the small one. The handheld one, you know. I'm going to put a little lemon zest in here. No, you cannot. I'm going to add that. No, I don't need to get inside. I'm going to add some lemon zest. And if you had chicken broth or vegetable broth, you could also do that. The lemon zest is just going to really kick up the flavor a lot. It's going to be yummy. And then I'm going to squeeze that lemon right in there. You want to do that? You can do that. There you go. And I'm just going to turn that to real low and let that cook. I'm going to let those brown bits get all picked up by the butter and the olive oil. Can you see that? Sophia's going to squeeze that lemon in there. I think we'll do both sides of the lemon, honey. Here, Mommy, help you. Ready? 1, 2, 3, squeeze. Good, and do the next one. So that lemon and butter sauce is super, super yummy. And remember, you could just do the lemon and the olive oil. You don't have to do the butter. It'll be just as delicious. Especially when you get those brown bits in there from the artichokes. Yummy, yummy. Alright, and Sophie's going to do the last lemon. You got it, honey? Wow, that's a lot of lemon juice in that one. You're done? Oh, nice. So we're giving you 2, that was good, right? We're giving you 2 really nice, Jeremiah, can you check that, please? We're giving you 2 really nice little dinners. I just put a teensy bit, just a teensy bit of mustard in there to give it a little spice. And I've got a little bit of pepper. And a little bit of salt. Oh, I went right on your spoon. Alright, and then that's it. What we're going to do is we're going to pick this up real quick. And I'm going to just toss that and dump it right over the artichokes. Maybe not all of it, I don't know. Mommy got it, Mommy got it. Yeah, all of it, right? Alright. Now that one that Sophia said she didn't like wasn't cooked, I'm going to put that back in for now. Now, normally, if I didn't need the pan, I would put the artichokes back in there and just let them cook. But since we need the pan, Jeremiah, I'm going to need you to rinse out the pan, please. Leave it. Can you rinse this out for me, please? It's going to be hot, so please be careful. Alright, so what he's going to do is rinse this out. I don't need them right now, though. Thank you. We're going to let this sit for a minute. I'm going to clean up that side there. Jeremiah can take some pictures. And this is just artichoke French eggs. It's very easy. It's super delicious, and artichokes are really meaty, so it can kind of serve as your meat dish. If you wanted to butterfly those open, you could do that, and then make it almost like look like a chicken cutlet, kind of. That would be interesting, right? So we did get a chance to look at Beyond Burger or Beyond Meat, whatever that was called. And you know, everybody's going crazy about it, and it's totally up to you whether you decide to eat it or not. You know, I liked most of the ingredients, but some of them I just didn't love. So we probably maybe try it once, and then that will be it for us. Thank you, honey. So now it's time for our grilled cheese, and I'm going to ask Jeremiah to get rid of this. this stuff here and give us our bread and our knife and our cutting board. We're going to cut some fresh bread. We're going to lather it basically with our delicious artichoke. You guys okay? Everybody okay back there? Is everybody okay back there? We need the thing underneath and not this knife, the red one. That's our fresh baked bread. And we did that quickly for you in the beginning. It doesn't take long. It takes longer in the oven than it does to actually get prepared. Can I have the cupcake, please, and the red knife? Thank you. Now, sometimes you'll have a soggy hole in the back there. You know, it's not perfect bread. It's not a bread that I'm going to be selling in a bakery. It's just our bread. No, Mommy's going to have to cut it. This is very hard to cut, so I've got my bread knife. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to cut slices that are appropriate for our sandwich. But if you don't have this bread, you can just go to the market and buy something, buy a bread that you like. We've got some moisture inside, which is going to dry out when we grill it in our pan. Now remember, this has no eggs, no dairy, no soy, no gluten. Alright, so I'm going to make... What are you doing? Don't do anything to that. We need it. It smells good. Alright, so normally I would make like one big loaf and then I would cut from there, but today I was trying to make like individual portions almost for all of us. So what I've got is, I've got 4 slices so far.
I call the booty.
The booty doesn't go as a sandwich though, unless you want it to be. And what I'm going to do is just grill those for a little bit in the pan. And you call the booty. I want the booty all the time. I want the booty. And I'm going to cut just 2 more pieces, hopefully. Alright, so I'm going to lay these in the pan. Good girl. And right now I don't necessarily need any butter or anything like that, but if you wanted to brush the backs of the bread with either butter or you could use your mayo, which is a good option. And then we're going to fill it with our, I forgot to turn it on, whoopsie. We're going to fill that with our artichoke dip. So if Sophia, you want to get the dip out, I'm going to actually try to cut this bread without cutting anybody else. You want to turn it on its side. You know, growing up in the restaurant business, we respected knives and their sharpness. We didn't have too many injuries, but this week I did cut myself, so I'm being a little bit more careful than I normally would be. Got it, honey. Now, if you guys ever saw like those bagel cutters in the store, they weren't around when we had our place. Those bagel cutters, you put the bagel and you slam the thing down. It's almost like a guillotine for a bagel, but it cuts the bagel really nice. But that doesn't work when you're using bread. And unless you have a bakery where they slice the bread in the machine, you're obviously going to have to cut it yourself. So you got to be careful. So hold on 1 second. So this is our bread. It's got nice air holes. Jeremiah, maybe you could, or Sophie could hold it up for them closer so they could see. And then I'm just going to kind of grill it a little bit. Now, the man at, thank you, honey. The man at Tribeca Bakery told me that moisture in the bread is good. So I'm going to go with what he says and say moisture in the bread is good, because normally I would say, oh, I don't like that. It's a little sticky or gooey. But he said with the moisture, when you put something on it, it doesn't sink down, which I don't know. He said if you don't have any moisture and it's a dry bread, you'll put something on it like a meatball and it'll just sink to the bottom. And he said you don't want that to happen, so moisture is good. So he said if it's a little bit sticky, that's okay. But I was like not happy with the sticky littleness because I don't want to have to toast it every time. But he said all breads you have to do things like that. And he said unless you're getting it fresh out of the oven. And he said we use 10 times high gluten for the breads, for the batards, and all of those beautiful breads you see like in the bakery. They just look amazing. It's a 10x gluten bread, 10x gluten. So that means it's 10 times glutinous flour than a regular all-purpose flour would be. That's why you've got that beautiful rise and that real airy, beautiful air pockets in there, and it's just amazing. But we don't have that. So we're going to go with and you can make beautiful bread, you just have to take your time. And you saw us make this quick loaf, it doesn't take long. Alright, so what we're doing is we're just toasting these sides. Now I'm going to put a little bit of our artichoke dip on. Sophia, I'm going to do this, and you know what you can do? You can get our plates ready, And you can also, now we have to match up our bread. So we want to see like if we flip it over, is it going to match? We don't want to like have mismatched pieces of. No, I'm not going to flip this one over yet. I'm going to put this on first. So I'm just putting a little bit of our artichoke dip on it. You'll hear the sizzling. That's just the artichokes hitting the ground there. And I'm going to try to match these up as best as I can. Maybe I'll give you one with the top, Sophia, the booty.
I'll take a booty.
You want one with the booty?
Yeah.
So I'm going to try to match this one up with that one, and this one up with this one. And I actually have a loaf of the Char Deli rye bread, which works really well in this instance, but you could use whatever bread you can have. And obviously it's up to you, because if you're not going to make bread, you just want to buy one that you like, because this is going to be your sandwich, not mine. My sandwich is right here. Yours is, hopefully you're going to make it this weekend, and you'll be drooling over that. Alright, so I've got one with the booty, right? And actually we can let that booty cook a little bit longer, and we've got one without, we've got one with the other booty. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to let those toast a little bit. Sophia, would you get me the deli rye out? Because I'm going to make one regular one, and I'll show you what that looks like. And actually this sandwich, if you wanted to boost it up a little bit on the protein, and you can have eggs, it's in there in the bag, all straight back. You could actually dip this in an egg, and you could fry it like a mozzarella and carrozza, and you could fry that in the pan, and that would just give you a little bit more protein if you can have eggs. Now I didn't do the protein content of all this stuff, but if you want me to, just leave me a little comment on the bottom and say you need to know the protein, and I'll look it up for you and I will write it in. But our bread has only maple syrup, apple cider vinegar, olive oil, yeast, and chia seeds, which gives you a little bit of protein. Chia seeds are actually a good source of protein. So 2 grams for 1 tablespoon. Alright, so we've got, Sophia's going to give us our nice deli bread. Hold on, honey. 1 second. 1 second, please. Just going to put our nice sliced deli bread in there. And this is just, this is made by Char. And it just is called the deli rye. They call it deli style rice bread sourdough. I guess they changed the name. Deli style bread sourdough, so they don't call it deli because there's no rye in it. Obviously, because you can't have it. And there's 5 slices in here, so this wouldn't really, this would make 2 sandwiches, 2.5 sandwiches for our family. So you might want to figure out something that's more affordable for you. Put that away, or just put it to the side for me now. And so I'm just going to let that toast just a little bit on the side. And I'm going to add our delicious artichoke dip to the middle there. And if you don't like artichokes, I'm going to just challenge you to try this. Because I think if you've been to Fridays before, you've probably had that artichoke dip. And it is super yummy. And I think you liked it. I'm just not sure. Alright, so I'm going to let that cook. Now I'm going to flip this over. And Sophia, actually Jeremiah, could you make us something to drink? I don't know what. Just make, I don't know, orange juice, something, I don't care. I'm going to flip these over. What are you saying boom for?
Foam.
Oh, foam? No, you had foam already. I'm flipping over the sandwiches. It's just sometimes you just have to use your hands. You gotta take a beating and just use your hands. Right? I've got cheese melting. I've got artichokes getting toasty.
There's cheese in there.
And I might want to put the top on this just for a minute. Why don't you grab the top for Mommy? So that we can actually get it heated up. Alright, so we made for you the artichoke dip. I don't know if you remember what that was in there. It has, thank you honey. It's got a little bit of lemon. It's got some onions, some garlic. Did you guys put the garlic in there?
I don't know.
Did Jeremiah put the garlic in there? No. Hey Jeremiah.
Yeah.
Did you put the garlic in the dip?
Yeah.
Good job, buddy. Good job. And we have our artichoke franchise, which right now we're going to test that out. Sophia's going to pass out the napkins. Can you clean it up instead of just like, put it over there. Just put it, the whole thing, you could take it and put it, no, just take the whole thing and put it over there. Thank you. Because we already have a mess, we don't need to move it. Alright, I just want to clean off this little, take the cupcake too, thank you. Just want to clean off this little spot for you, and we're going to share our artichoke franchise. Sophia's going to pass out the napkins. If you didn't bring your napkin, go get it. And if you're hungry, go make it. Alright, so artichoke franchise is actually really super yummy with spaghetti. So you might want to add some spaghetti to that if you're looking to fill everybody up. But since no one's around, I'm just going to go for it.
Hey!
Everybody left me hanging. Alright, so this is the artichoke that's triple dipped. Sophia did her triple dip. And then it's cooked with a little bit of Kerrygold, olive oil, capers, my mouth is watering, sorry. Capers and lemon juice. Mmm. 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 Make sure gluten-free grandma gets one. Mmm. Yummy. Totally yummy. Totally. Put some on a plate for her and give it to her. We can always make more. Alright, now we've got our grilled cheese going. We love artichokes. I think they're coming into season now. Because I see them on the menu for the Misfits Market and that kind of thing. I see them on the menu. So I'm assuming they're coming into... Oh, Sophia, this is going to be amazing. Your little booty one. Jeremiah, you want to come and try artichoke franchise?
Sure.
Alright, give him some on a plate. Hey! Oh, I thought I heard excess. Alright, I'm going to flip over our sandwiches. Next side. Ooh, that's a big sandwich. I'm just going to pick it up. There we go. Gotta just toughen it up, right? I love when the inside gets really, what's that? Oh.
Yeah.
I love when the inside gets really gooey with the grilled cheese. Now, remember, you could use your Daya. They have Daya shreds and they have Daya block. And they also have a Daya cream cheese spread you could use, which would be a nice idea if you have to be dairy free. Watch your fork, honey. Alright, so I'm going to have one more. Are they a little tough, gluten-free grandma? No? Sophia, was yours a little tough? No? Oh, do you like the capers? Me too. I hear the bread dinging. No, we're not going to go get that yet. Because we're going to flip the bread over, turn it down to 350. Ooh, that looks good.
No.
Thank you.
Alright, now we're going to do the grilled cheese. Put this over there for mommy, please. Hold on. Put it down. I have to stop her. She can eat when she's done with her work. Always got to stop her.
I see something go.
What? Yes, let's do it, Jeremiah. One.
No, you didn't already done.
Oh, you did mine already? Oh, bummer.
Oh.
Wow, Jeremiah. That wasn't a good idea.
That was cool.
Yeah, but you spilled it. Now you can't drink it. Alright, grilled cheese is almost done. Jeremiah, can you get me that platter over there to put the grilled cheese sandwiches on?
Fruit punch.
Alright, we're ready to roll. Now, obviously, we've got our, the char bread. That actually came out nice and toasty, if you can see that. Ow, it's hot. Can you get me that plate, please, over there? The white one. Yes. Thank you, honey. Alright, we've got one grilled cheese out. And actually, if we can just get this knife, Sophie, cut that in half. And chop it up so everybody can see. Oh, you okay? You alright, darling? Was that Jeremiah's?
Yeah.
Alright, Jeremiah, that's okay, honey. You need a towel, not a napkin. A napkin doesn't really do anything. Alright, cut that in half. Sophia's got the grilled cheese out. I've got 2 more sandwiches. I love making grilled cheese sandwiches, especially if you're patient. Yes, your grilled cheese sandwich will be delicious. That's our grilled cheese with the artichoke dip. And we need more plates. So leave that there and grab the square one. We're going to pull this over for a little bit and move it over. Jeremiah, the bread gets tipped over and put on 350 now and put back in. And then, actually you can come and show them what you have so far. I'm going to put the grilled cheese down here. Sophia's going to get her grilled cheese on the booty. Which one do you want? This one? You want this grilled cheese booty? There you go. Jeremiah's got our fresh baked bread. Look at that. Oh, yeah. Jeremiah, can you actually hold it up or no? Can you show them, like, hold it up? Yes, look at that. Fresh baked bread. Love it, love it. All right, now I'm going to leave my sandwich in a little bit longer, but gluten-free grandma needs to get her sandwich. Gluten-free grandma, you want this or you want this? You want half of this? I'll share that with you.
How long?
Turn it over and put it in for 20. Excuse me, Dolly. Oh, here's the knife. I got it. All right, so gluten-free grandma has to get fed first. Got our nice artichoke sandwich. Put that on there. There we go.
Where's this?
That is artichoke frenches. You might want to cut it. You're going to eat the whole thing at once? I don't know. Do what you want. I'm going to use my little flippers to do this one.
Can I cut my
Yeah, hold on. Let me do it.
no crackers?
It's not a cracker. She wants to crack it like she does the bread, like they do on the British baking challenge. Yeah. All right. So in order to cut this one, Sophia's got. Jeremiah, what do you think of that? You don't like it?
I don't know.
He doesn't know. That means he doesn't like it.
Do you want me to eat it?
All right. We've got our sandwich. Who wants to try their sandwich? Mmm. Mmm.
No, you guys, you can have it. You guys can eat half of your burrito.
That's yummy. Gluten-free grandma, you like that? Yeah. I would have put a little bit more salt on it if we could have salt, but we want to be careful with our salt. I guess that's it, guys. What do you think? Jeremiah, you like the sandwich? He's thinking about it.
Mmm.
It's okay? Not great? He's eating it, so I guess it's not that bad. Sophia, did you like the sandwich or the frenches better? Huh? You don't know? What about you, gluten-free grandma? You can't decide? I really love the frenches.
I do too.
I think it's delicious, and I think it'd be really good on top of spaghetti. On top of spaghetti. What was that song you were singing yesterday? She knows the whole song, right? On top of spaghetti? My meatball. Yeah, that one.
I don't know the whole thing.
All right, guys. I guess it's time to go. We appreciate you joining us, and we hope you're enjoying the season of Lent. Next week, we have a special show planned for you where we'll be making some more Good Friday treats for the holiday. And we see all the posting about pizza gain and pizza grain and all of that good stuff. But I think we're going to pass on that this year because we have other things that we are interested in making. And we're not having everybody over like we usually do. So we would make a big pizza gain and stuff like that. Since I don't eat it, and sometimes they don't eat the leftovers, it gets stuck, and I don't want to do that. I don't want to waste anything. So we'll be making some other Easter treats for you. So stay tuned. We thank you guys for joining us today on ABC Gluten Free. Thank you, Sophia, for your help. Thank you, Jeremiah, for all your help. And thank you, Gluten Free Grandma, for cleaning up after her mess after we feed her. So we want you guys to come, taste, and see how good it is to be gluten free. Ciao.
Aprons by REM Designs. Hair by Satney. Makeup by Artistry. Thank you to our pantry partners and fridge friends. Follow us on livestream, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, Pinterest, and YouTube at ABC Gluten Free. ABC Gluten Free is a production of American Bods.
Ciao. God bless everybody. Have a great and delicious weekend.